Today, gonna install this RGB strip right on the roof liner. I guess you could also install it in the rear bottom of the rear window area if you don't have a third brake light there, or you can just get rid of the third brake light and place it over there instead. So first stuff, this light strip in the top roof liner area. To install this, there is two clips on the inside here. All you do is pull this down. You just reach your fingers in and pull. There's one on each side, so once you pull it, it'll come off. I tend to face it up just like this, so the lights are firing upwards. You could try to face it sideways like this, but like I said before, you might blind the drivers behind you, so I try not to do that. But that's really up to you how you want to install it. So this is what it looks like. It's not overly bright to where you're shining on people and you can still see it. So I think that looks good. Maybe stand a little bit further back. First you pull off the rubber seal off the side like this. Then you're gonna remove this bottom door trim piece, the little cover. Let's pull it off. This piece has metal clips on it. There's 3 of them. Don't lose them. Just pull this off as well. Pull off this C-pillar cover. There's a few clips on the back of this, like this piece right here. This one has actually broken off, so I'll have to replace this one here. The RGB strip is slightly too long, so what I've done here is cut a part of it off. All this is doing is to keep it, it's weatherproofing, so it keeps moisture from going inside. This won't affect the performance of it if you cut it off. Once you have the lights dropped in, all you do is grab it by the fingertip and you find where the clips are, and you pretty much pull it as far back as possible, the LED strip, and then you pop the clip back in, and which lock in place. Once you have the clips popped in, you run the wire, which is this long strand here. You run it down the pillar. You gotta tuck this. Then the wires, you just run it down here. And we're gonna be tapping the controller, this controller here, with 4 wires. This is the wire loom that you're gonna be connecting to. It's actually on the side here, this big bundle of wire. You use a razor, carefully split it open, and this is the wires that you're going to be tapping into. The turn signals are going to be green with yellow, going to be a green with black stripe, green with a really thick green with white stripe. That's going to be your brake lights. To wire up turn signal and brake lights, the black wire will go into the big green with white. Wires is going to go by the green with yellow. Blue wire is going to go with the green with black. So then there's 2 more wires. There's going to be a red wire for just turning on the RGB switch itself, and then the ground wire. What you're going to do is you're going to wire it to a main switch so that you can control it to come on and off. Here in Taiwan, we get kind of ticketed if there's too much lighting, so I like to have the option to turn it on and off. If you guys don't have any laws regulating this or anything like that, then you can just pretty much leave it on. So the red wire, you have to add a switch for the RGB function, and the ground wire is for your main switch that kills everything. So previous kits I did not include these, but now I will to include these as well as 2 switches. One is the main switch, and the other one's gonna be your kill switch for the RGB function. Now we're gonna run the wires from the back to the front. You remove this trim piece here by lifting up, pull it off, take off the trim, take off this cover so you have some easier access. Easier if you fold the seat up first. So then you take the wire and you just feed it to the front. You don't want to tug it too tight, so you're going to leave a tiny bit of slack for the back, and then you're going to slowly start tugging it in the carpet. To tug it under the carpet, all you do is lift up these plastic clips. Easier access. First, release your e-brake. There's a little clip right here. You lift the carpet from that bolts, and you'll pull it back. Open the fuse panel area and feed the wire through. So we ran the wire through the front outside the fuse panel, and what we have here is the added fuse. This is going to go into your radio number 2 circuit right here, 15 amp. And what you will do is take the fuse out of the 15 amp, put it on the bottom side near this piece right here, and then there's going to be a fuse already added on here for the RGB strip. Then what you do is plug it back inside the fuse location for the radio number 2. And then there's going to be excessive wire. Pretty much you have to decide where the location is you're going to mount this. One prime candidate would be down here somewhere for your main kill switch, or if you have a panel like mine, you could also mount it here if you want. So there's going to be enough wire for you to add a couple switches there if you want. Once you have everything wired up, generally you should have a switch, but since I don't have any on hand at this time, this is just show you an idea of what it would be like if you basically toggle the switch. For the main switch, it's going to switch on your RGB source like this in this video here. This is your main, the ground is going to be your main power switch, which includes your turn signal, your brake flashing, and your RGB. So if you turn this on and off, then none of that will work if you turn it off. Then once you have that connected, you can either tuck your switches somewhere on this panel that you guys have, or you can mount it elsewhere. My plan is going to be mounting it on the bottom of this panel piece here. Basically, you remove it and add 2 toggle switches right here. So it's going to be enough wires for you to do all that. Once you have everything wired up, you begin the reinstallation process. And basically, you begin by making sure all the carpets are tucked back in the clips themselves, and the clips are on the edge of the door frames. Then move the seat forward and give yourself some room. Easier to do this from the back seat rather than from the front. So you'll take this panel, make sure all the clips are lined up in place. Go from the top and match the clip to the hole there and just press it in. So prior to installing everything back, I have took the wire that comes from the LED strip down on the side here where there's some open space, and here's the control box and the wires. You don't want to tuck it under the seat due to the fact that it could be sat on and there's going to be weight on it and may crush the wires and expose it to some metal or something like that. So try to avoid that. Next, you would line up the seat panel cover on the bottom here. There's a little lip. See how there's a tab on the end there? Make sure that goes in first, and then make sure all the clips goes back in as well. Once you line that up, more than likely you're going to run into issue with this clip right here. Just wiggle your way down like so. It is a pain in the ass, but once you get it in, everything else should line up perfectly. So just tap it a few times. Once the C-pillar panels are in, then you install this piece right here. How you do that is you line up the top, kind of slide upwards to the groove. Press this clamp down. Next, you install the rubber seal. Once the rubber seals are in, next step up is this panel piece here. You would slide the back side in first. There's only clips right here on this edge here, and the front clip right there, right here in the front. So front, same thing, you press in the rubber seals. Work from outside towards the center. Make sure this side panel is also locked into this bolt. Next, you'll take this long cover and work from the back to the front. And that's it.